So go ahead and place your feet on the floor. Your seat beneath you. Sit up tall. I'm going to give you a minute here just to get comfortable. Start to build your awareness. Starting with the ground and the feet. Maybe you're coming in contact with the floor beneath you. Maybe it's the bottom of your shoe. Wherever it is, start to just build a little bit of a mental map. Feeling across the ball of the foot. Down the outer edges. Even into the heel. See if you can have some awareness in your toe pads, underneath where your toes make contact. Sometimes those are harder to find. We're going to work our way up to our seat, to the back of the legs. Noticing how you rest. Noticing where you rest in particular, if you're more even one way or the other. See if you can notice how the back of your legs feel on your chair. And adjust accordingly. And every adjustment you make as we begin to build this, go back to the beginning and readjust. Feet on the floor, seat beneath you, sit up tall. Deep breath. Bring your awareness up to your seat, to your bottom, and the way the sit bones rest. See if you can relax your pelvic floor, but still be seated evenly and upright. Sliding the awareness up the back, where and if you make contact with the chair. We're going to start to begin to get into the breath. Just take a nice big inhale as you get a little taller. Stacking the shoulders over the hips. Hold yourself at that height as you exhale slowly. Seeing how kind of difficult that is. And string a couple of those together. Every inhale maybe a little bit deeper and turning on the diaphragm, pulling that air in like a vacuum. Keeping your height, but relaxing the shoulders, kind of letting everything fall into place. The body's been here before, so you have the muscle memory, you have the practice of awareness, but it's gradual, and the start is slow. Eventually it comes around. Bringing the awareness to the length of the neck. See if you can get the head a little bit higher to the ceiling, while still keeping the chin parallel to the floor. So you notice what that feels like, a lift, maybe almost like lifting yourself energetically by the ears. A little bit higher, a little bit taller. Keep the chest broad. Breathe into that. Good. Take another deep breath when you can, inhaling all the way. Filling up and pausing at the top for a brief, just a second, and then letting it go. Relaxing the body, but keeping your height. We're gonna do that a few times. Inhale, coming up. Maybe the shoulders come up, maybe you shrug a little bit, but maybe that helps you get a little taller. On the exhale, gradual relax in the shoulder, rest in the face, the jaw, and the throat, and all the way down to the floor. Take another one. Inhale, taller, higher. Maybe the shoulders go up. Pause. Good. Exhale. Let it relax. Let it get a little heavier. Let it rest nearer to the floor. One more inhale like this. We're coming up. Inhale. Pause at the top. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale slow as you can. Relax, 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 relax. All the way out. Finish the exhale. A little bit of core strength there. Inhale, normal. Good job. Exhale. Relax the shoulders, stack your vertebrae. We're going to turn that activation on in the belly button a little bit, pulling it towards the back of your chair. Notice how the sit bones react to that, and then see if you can just sit a little bit taller from there. Good. And have you empty the exhale, a little bit more core activation. We're going to inhale, shrug the shoulders up. On your exhale, we're going to roll the shoulders back and drop them down. We're going to do that a few times. Inhale, you're going to come straight up, get tall. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Relax in the neck as you do. One more. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, roll it back. Very nice. We're going to interlace the fingers from here. And we're just going to go right out into some figure eights. Yeah, so clear your throat. Do what you got to do. To sit up tall, to adjust, and we're going to go the other way. Nicely done. Slow that down. We're just going to let the hands go. Rub them together. A little bit of heat. Just for a moment. Good. Interlace the fingers. We're going to take the hands to the back of the head. Press that nice warm hand to the back of the head. Push the head back into the hands and see if you can sit up a little bit taller. There. Slightly pulling the belly button in. A little bit tough, so you should feel this tightness the front of the body, wherever that may be, across the chest and the belly. Spread the elbows wide. So try to point the elbows in opposite directions. And notice what that does to your posture. Can you readjust? Good. I'm going to give you one more challenge here. Is to turn on the diaphragm. So when you inhale, hold the inhale in like a vacuum from your belly. Exhale, see if you can keep your posture. String a couple of those breaths together. Get a couple reps in. And as you do, just bring some awareness as to what this experience is like for you. It's rather difficult. It's rather sensational. I got just one more. So do your best to really fill up and really empty out. When the exhale comes around, keeping the neck nice and long, relaxing, we're going to draw the elbows together in front of us and bow the head just slightly. So we're going about, I would say, a third of what you normally, your deepest bend here. Just getting started in this upper spine. So just getting around the back, creating some space between the shoulder blades, and if you can, try to breathe into that space. Notice if you can expand your wings on your back. Okay. Pushing through the floor, we're going to gradually sit up tall, stack the vertebrae, push the head back into the hands, spread the elbows wide, sit up tall, belly button in, big inhale. We're twisting on the exhale towards the kitchen, left side. As you twist, push your head back into your hands. Before we go on, check in with your seat. Starting with the feet on the floor, backs of the legs on the chair, sit bones on the chair. See if you can sit taller from there. And if you can sit taller, chances are you can go a little deeper in your twist. Breathe. Try to find the diaphragm. Pulling the air in like a vacuum. Challenging, challenging. Finish your exhale like a wet rag. We're going to come back to center on the inhale slowly, almost letting the vertebrae kind of come back on its own. Big expansion, inhale. Shoulders relax, exhale. We're sitting up tall, inhale, preparing for the twist. On the exhale, opposite side, we're twisting over towards the door to the right. Once you get into that twist, check in with your feet, check in with your seat. Get tall. And then if you can, get twisty. Go a little further into that twist. But always remember to keep that head up. So a lot of times the head wants to come down. Keep that head up. Breathe deep. We've got just one more breath here. This should be a little bit challenging. Finish the exhale. We're back to center slowly, almost like the vertebrae can do it by itself. Spread the elbows wide, big inhale. Relax the shoulders, exhale. We're going to keep the fingers interlaced. Inhale, extend the arms up to the sky, or as close to it as you can. On the exhale, part the hands. We're going to open them wide. Say hi to your neighbor, maybe. We're going to lower the arms all the way down slowly. I know they're a little bit heavy. I know the shoulders are a little bit tired. We're going to go palms face forward at our sides. Thumbs are pointing in opposite directions. Roll the shoulders back. Sit up tall. Hold the belly in. Turn the fingers on. So spread them. Extend them. Sit up tall. We got one more breath here. A little bit more active in the chest. Broaden. Soften the face. Maybe lift the corners of the mouth. Nice and done. Relax the fingers. Relax the hands. Make some circles with the wrists. Trying to work out some air bubbles and cakes. So if you're feeling a little crackle and pop, good. We're going to go the other way. Circle the other way. Nice and done. Go arm circles, starting with a bent arm, just making circles backwards. You want to get the spine involved. You're welcome to do so. Just one more time around in this direction. Good. We're going the other way. We're going forward. Still bent arms. Lift the chest as you forward. Spine involved just a little bit. We got one more circle around. Good. We're going to extend the arms and we're going to go backwards just 3 times. But the biggest circle you can possibly make, including the spread of the fingers, hitting every corner of the room, every number on the clock. We got just one more. Make it count. And as you finish this third one, we're going to rest the hands in the lap, palms face up. Sit up tall so you can connect 3 breaths in an aligned upright posture. Softening the brow, softening the cheeks, softening the throat, the chest. Good job. A little wiggle in the fingers. We're going to keep it grooving. So we're going to go kitchen side foot, that left leg. Ankle's going to cross either ankle to ankle or ankle to knee. Do what works best for you. We're working on our standing leg. The foot that's on the floor, that's the important one. We're going to sit up tall. Check in with your seat. Obviously, it's not going to be perfectly even because you have the external rotation, but you're just looking for something mostly even. As we do, wherever you're at, hands in the lap. Inhale, we're going to roll the shoulders back. We're going to sit up tall. Breathe through the sternum, lift the heart. On the exhale, pull the heart up, up, up. So this is energetically, of course. What we're trying to do is imagine your rib cage kind of like a clamshell. You're trying to get it just to open a little bit. Just enough to make a little more room for the lungs. A little bit more space. Take one more breath. When your exhale comes, you're going to start to lean forward. So now trying to draw your heart forward, breathing into the sternum. That's the bone right in the center of your chest. Challenge, if you need it, to pull the belly button back towards the spine. And to pull the crown of the head up and away, to pull the ears away from the shoulders, lifting yourself by the tops of your ears. Good. Notice the sensation, the experience in the hip. And take one more deep breath as you keep the spine nice and strong here. Finishing your exhale to the very, very end. Pushing through the floor. We're going to sit up tall. Take your time. Stack the vertebrae. Big inhale. Relax the shoulders. On the exhale, the bent leg, we're just going to do some ankle circles. So whether you're up high or down low, you're going to pick one direction to the best of your ability to work the ankle. And then we're going to go the other way. Noticing the difference in the two rotations. No right or wrong answers, just simply observation. Good. We're going to slow that down, and then we're going to cross that top leg over. So go ahead and walk your bottom foot in. Cross the top leg over, bottom foot. The foot that's on the floor is the one that matters, right? So 4/4 of the foot, all the toes, nice and even, press down. Hips are going to stay square in front. So even as we come into the twist, keep the hips just as they are. Squeeze the legs together to lock it in. We're going to take the arms to the sky. Take a big inhale. Lift your heart as you come up. On the exhale, we're twisting up and towards the kitchen or to the left. Open the arms if you do. We're just going to be up with the open arms for a brief moment. So sit up tall, big inhale. On the exhale, see if you have any more twist. Broadening your shoulders, reaching further. Good, and then we'll take the hands down. The front hand to the lap, and the back hand to the chair. The front hand can also have an external rotation. Palm can be facing out towards the kitchen. If you sit up nice and tall. So here in this deep twist, check yourself. Foot that's on the floor, you got a little bit of a lift in the arch. You don't want to collapse there. Hips are squared forward. It's the chest that's turning. It's the upper spine that's turning. The neck is nice and long, and every breath you're trying to go higher before you go deeper, before you twist more. You want the height. If you need a challenge, pull the belly button in. Notice how the body feels. Notice what the sensation is. Noticing, and the art of noticing, maybe somewhat overlooked. So on a small scale, just a couple seconds, you can notice yourself. Maybe turn the head towards the back of the room. Finish your exhale. Good. We're going to inhale back to center. Extend the arms first out and then up. Try to almost let your spine come back by itself as you raise the arms overhead. Exhale, we're going to bend the arms, take them at 90 degrees, palms face forward. So sitting up tall, kitchen side elbow, left elbow's coming up and over, and you're going to make it your way. So you can make it like a T, you can make it like an X, you can stack the elbows, you can try to draw the backs of the hands towards one another. If you have a wrap around, you can always take that as well. Wherever you end up, squeeze the legs together, keeping that integrity. Inhale, lift the elbows up nice and high. On the exhale here, we're going to try to reach the elbows out and over that top knee. So we're not trying to make contact here. We're trying to keep a decent amount of space, keeping the elbows lifted, but we're reaching, and opening up the space at the back of our heart. Continue to press into the floor so you're supported, but breathe into the space that protects the back of your heart on your back. Notice the experience. Notice what that feels like. Simply notice an observation is not an attachment. It is just that, an observation. As you press through the floor, lift the elbows. As you draw them back in, we're going to unravel the arms. Arms overhead, big inhale, reach for the sky. On the exhale, pause, leave the arms overhead. We're going to unravel the legs. I know these arms are getting heavy. Pin the toes together and the heels. We're going to lean back in the chair. Pull the belly button in. Open the arms to a wide, as wide as you'd like. And if you'd like, you can lift the toes. Maybe you can lift the legs. Maybe you can lean back a little bit more. Hold that belly button in and get really long in the front of the body. Trying to get as much space as you can. One breath. Good. On the exhale, arms are coming down first. A little bit of leverage. Good. Then the legs can come down. Sit up tall. Find your posture. Make any adjustments, but then take one breath in stillness. Let the body lock it in. Notice, if you can, differences in the two sides of your body. If any. And then we're going to keep moving. So now we're going to the right side. Door side ankle is making its way your way, whatever that is for you. The foot that's on the floor is the important one. Check in with your seat. It might be different on this side. You might feel a difference as far as how evenly you can sit. Pull the belly button in just a little bit. Keep the shoulders broad, keep the chest broad, really proud. Good. We're drawing the breath in. Inhale from the sternum. We're trying to lift the heart up towards the ceiling. An energetic act. And on your exhale, keep your height. Build the strength from your core and be supported from the belly button. Good. This is tough. We got one more breath. We can get a little bit higher, so if you have any more space. Yes, on the exhale, we're going to start to bring the heart forward, reaching the heart towards the top corner of the room behind you. Keeping the extension of the neck, exposing the front of the throat. This is a very vulnerable position, so not only are we somewhat exposed, right, in the throat and the heart, but the hips is a place that we store a lot of stress in. And really challenging that hip while being so vulnerable is a challenge. And the challenge is the breath. Can you link just a couple breaths together fluidly from the outside, maybe even seemingly effortlessly? Do one more. Nicely done. We're going to press the floor, restack the vertebrae. Take your time. We're going to sit up, come right back where you started. The exhale, relax those shoulders. Good job. We're going to walk this bottom foot in, cross the top leg over. Squeeze the legs together. Okay? Same thing as the first side. Hips, everything's going to stay in front. The foot that's on the floor is the important one. Otherwise, we're sitting up tall. Take the arms overhead. Big inhale as you reach for the sky. Lift the heart. On the exhale, we're twisted open towards the door. To the right, as you sit up. And again, just to build the integrity of the pose, foot that's on the floor is pressing through the floor with a little bit of a lift and arch. Knees are pointing forward, hips are pointing forward, legs are squeezing together, and you're sitting up taller with every breath. One more inhale. Twist a little more on the exhale. Broaden the shoulders just a bit more before you land those hands. One hand to the back or the side of the chair. The other hand to the lap, with the arm extended in front. And I'm going to have you do that same breath where you lift from the sternum and try and get a little bit taller. Very challenging. Good. We're going to just remain here for another moment. See if you can go through the pose. Build it from the ground up, make it a little bit taller, make it a little bit more functional, not necessarily deeper, something that serves you better. Finish your exhales, maybe bring a little bit more, maybe turn the head to the back of the room. We're going to come back to center. First, extending the arms out, and then up. Maybe the spine comes back on its own, inhale, reach for the sky. On the exhale, give those elbows a bend. We're going arms at 90 degrees, palms face forward. Right palm, or right arm I should say, is coming up and over. Eagle arms on this side. Find your way. Squeeze the legs together. Inhale, lift the elbows up. And on the exhale, reach those elbows out and over the knee in front. So again, we want to keep lots of space between the knees and elbows here. And now, you're trying to locate again the back of your heart space. And with all of the practice, the repetition we've done with the breath so far, can you locate that heart space? Can you breathe from there? Same way you hold diaphragm down and to vacuum the breath in. Can you breathe from the back of your heart space? Can you just for a moment experience what that feels like? Understanding that you have the endurance to be here. You're well equipped and fully capable of experiencing just a bit of a challenge for a multitude of reasons, but just simply the fact that you can. One more breath from the belly button this time. Nicely done. Then draw those elbows back in. Slowly unravel the arms. Taking the arms overhead. Big inhale. Reach for the sky. Lift from your heart. Good. Exhale. Keep the hands lifted. We're unraveling the legs. Both feet on the floor. Lean back in the chair. Widen the arms. Pull the belly button in. Inhale. Lift the legs. Maybe you can point the toes this time. Maybe you can lean a little further back. Keep lots of space between your ears and shoulders. But reach through the fingers. One more breath. Please sit down. Arms come down first, just to help with a little bit of leverage. Rest the hands in the lap. Legs can follow. Give yourself a moment here. Those back bends can make you a little dizzy. Take a deep breath. And then take one more. This time out the mouth. Good. All right. Any adjustments that you so please? Otherwise, we're going to set up for chair pose. So go ahead and place your feet on the floor. Toes are pointing forward. Done. Sitting up, we're going to go arms extended out in front. Belly button is pulled in. Take a big inhale so we're together. On the exhale, it's going to prepare us. Nice. Inhale, go ahead and lean forward, reach forward, lift your bottom up. On the exhale, shift your way back towards your heels. Hold your hips towards your chair. And if you can, reach your fingers up to the sky. Nice. Good job. Hold the belly button in here, getting the low back nice and long. A little bit of a challenge. You've got one more breath. Hold the thumbs to the back of the room. As you exhale. Good job. Inhale, we're straighten those legs. Go ahead and reach for the sky. Reach the arms back if you can. On the exhale, a little lower. Relaxing. Shoulders on the way down. Any adjustments that you'd like to make, go ahead and make them. Otherwise, make your way to the back of the chair. Take your time getting there. Do yourself a favor. Make sure your space is clear and ready for you. All right. So we're going to start by standing right behind the chair. All the toes are going to point underneath the chair, so we're pointing in the same direction. If you like to use the chair a lot, I would recommend you standing a little bit closer, maybe right up against. Use it only moderately, you can take about a step back. Otherwise, knees are soft, bend your knees. Use the chair or not. We're going to shift the weight then to the left side, facing the right heel up. And from here, we're going to step back or float back or slide back into the high lunge. So left leg is going to be forward, right leg is going to be long behind us. Hands can go to the hips of the chair or even overhead. Extend through every joint, so through the fingers, through the wrists, through the elbows. Good. And then keep the pressure in the front foot, your standing foot nice and even. So through the heel and ball of the foot. Okay. Back leg is strong and supportive, heel is lifted or not. This is really good for balance, really good for strength. So you can sit a little bit lower, not lean forward, but sit lower, and then raise your hands higher. We're going to take just one more breath here. And the diaphragm if you can. Good. Inhale, reach the hands up a little bit higher. We're going to exhale both hands to the chair. Take your time. Front legs can come a little bit straighter. Maybe you can bring it all the way straight. When you get here, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, when you've got a nice long back. On the exhale, just pull the belly button in from here. So back is nice and long, legs are nice and straight. Your hips are nice and squared with the chair in front of you. And if you would like, you can bend the elbows. But when you do, try to draw the elbows back towards your ribs. Nice and streamlined. And if from there you'd like to go deeper, you can take the hands to the chair. That's totally fine. The one thing I will advise against would be totally blocking out the front knee. You want to give a little bit of give there. Otherwise, you're working on extension in the spine here. So this is obviously a hamstring stretch. And I think to any degree in which you do the pose, you So do that by pulling the belly button back towards it. That kind of gives you a little belt, wraps around your lower midsection. And then you reach the heart forward. And that will target the upper half. We're going to leave the right hand on the chair. Left hand is either coming to the hip or up to the sky as we rotate and really get into this. This is revolved triangle. Very challenging posture. Keep the front big toe down. As you lift the heart a little bit. Just one more breath here. If you can get a little higher in the hand if it's up. We're going to take both hands then, exhale to the high part of the chair. Take your time getting there. We're going to put a bend back in the front leg, and we're going to take both hands overhead one more time. Nice. Try to find the balance, try to find the strength, okay? We kind of piece everything we've done together so far this morning into this. From here, I'm going to have you lift off the back heel. We're going to come to warrior two. So pivot on the back foot. So the back foot becomes parallel with the back of the room. Then open the arms. One hand, the front hand's reaching over the chair, back hand is reaching for the back of the room. Now if you get here and you feel like your front knee is really going forward, I want you to broaden, widen your stance, okay? This way, you can stay upright, stacked, shoulders over hips, and not have to be forward. This is a warrior pose. You're very prideful, proud, you're very tall, you're very strong, kind of leaning forward. It makes it like an anxious warrior pose, like you're ready to pounce. You want to be more stoic, if that is a reference you can relate to. But keep the chest broad, keep the arms wide, keep the fingers active. Again, another challenging pose. See if you can bend the front leg a little bit more. Make sure you can see your big toe in the front leg. Good. We're going to do a balance challenge back to high lunge. So pivot on the back foot. As you come forward, try to stick the landing. Tough stuff. Nicely done. We're going to start to hinge forward like chair pose, but eventually step forward to chair pose, maybe slide, maybe float. Stick the landing, hold the toes point under the chair, big inhale here. Exhale, bend the legs just a little bit. Good. Straighten those legs. Reach for the sky, open the arms wide. And on the exhale, you can lower those arms down. Those heavy, heavy arms. Good job. Shake it out, make your adjustments, and we're going to get into the other side. Setting up behind the chair just the same as you did on the first side, so whatever that works for you. Soft bend in the knees. This time the right foot gets the weight, left heel lifts, and you're going to make your way. So you can step, you can slide, you can float. You're going to find your high lunge. Right knee, okay, right toes are pointing the same direction, but you want to be able to see your big toe. And you can take the hands either to the chair, to your hips, or maybe overhead, maybe a combination. And the same thing, so you really want to be able to bend into this front leg without leaning forward. And if you lean forward, that just means you're strong enough to go a little bit broader in your stance. So trust yourself and trust your balance, because there's no better place to do that. And stay tall. Spread the fingers, reach through the fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, as you sit the hips nice and low. Nice high lunge. Again, a very challenging posture, especially to do in stillness, especially if you're looking out the window and you see the breeze. You don't feel the breeze, but maybe you're blowing a little bit in that wind. Good job, stay there. We got just one more breath. See if you can bend a little more. Good. Your next inhale, hands reach a little higher. Nicely done. Exhale, both hands to the chair. Front leg goes a little straighter. Maybe you can hinge forward, but the same thing. So you can bend the elbows, but keep them tight. Keep the integrity in the spine. Pull the belly button in. That kind of wraps around. So your core wraps around your the full 360. It's not just the 8-packs you see in the magazines. So pulling the belly button in here actually protects the low back. And again, pulling the heart forward keeps the integrity of the thoracic spine, that upper third of your spine, the spine between your shoulder blades. spine behind your heart, the spine that's made to twist and to bend and to extend. But we kind of lose that. That's after the quads, which are the muscles on the top of your leg. The muscles that they are there behind your shoulder blades are the second group of muscles to go as we age. It's just simply because we don't use them as much. So working your quads and your upper back, you're ahead of the game. Here we are. We've got one more breath here. Stay strong. Good. The left hand is going to stay on the chair, whereas the right hand is either going to come to the hip, or we're going to find the rotation and reach up to the sky. A very challenging revolved triangle. Wherever you're at, just keep your chest broad. Try to breathe with your diaphragm. Those two little adjustments alone make any variation of this posture a challenge, as if it's not already enough of a challenge. Let's be even more. We've got one more breath. Breathe into your ribcage here. Next inhale, you reach a little higher. It's tough, it's tough, it's tough. We're coming down on the exhale. Both hands are coming to the back of the chair. Take your time. Once you get there, bending the front leg, find the high lunge. Take your time going back. It's a tough transition to come out of that very deep twist to a high standing posture like this. Good. From here, we're going to come to warrior two. So you can lift off that back heel. Give it a little rotation. Pivoting on the back foot so it's parallel with the back of the room. Arms get nice and broad. Bending as much as you can into that front knee while still being able to see the big toe. Good. Chest is broad. Nicely done. Breathing deep. So same situation. This side might feel a little bit different than the first side. That's just because it's a different side of your body. So you're going to have a different experience. But I want you to treat it the same as far as the space you give it, and the patience you give it, and the integrity that you give it. So you want to be just as strong. Both sides of the body operate differently. They do different things, if you think about it. More on that later, but so then you want them to both be able to be strong enough to support you. And here we are doing just that. Give it one more breath. Good. We're going to come back to the high lunge. Pivoting on the back foot, both arms overhead. Inhale, reach for the sky. On the exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward. Find your chair pose your way. Take your time. Tough transition. Get it, straighten those legs, reach for the sky. Exhale, lower those arms. Yeah, good job. Any kind of adjustments you can take, you can take them. If you want to take a minute to observe what you're feeling, go for that. We'll all eventually meet in the front of the chair. Standing nice and tall. Build your posture from your feet. All the toes point forward. Go ahead and reach for the sky. Big inhale. If you can, lift your heart. Exhale, we're going to find chair pose. Slowly but surely find your way down, eventually to your chair. Stick your landing, rest the hands in the lap. If you can, palms face up. Belly button in, and see here if you can land right into that posture. That posture that we took our time earlier building up, bringing awareness to. See if it paid off. See if the breath can be a little fuller. And then just experience being in your body just for a brief moment. Notice what it's like, notice where you're at. And try to meet yourself there. I think a pattern I've noticed recently is self-criticism. A lot of people subconsciously really hold themselves to a really tough standard, myself included. And sometimes those standards are just not realistic, or sometimes you just need a minute. Sometimes you just need, it takes a minute to get there. being a mom has taught me that. I've had to sprout a lot of space for patience. And sometimes it's like pulling teeth, but you get through it. And eventually it happens, and eventually it works out. And the flow of it all keeps going, and life goes on. And it's worth it. It's worth sitting through those moments of impatience to get to the fruit. And that reference is here. It's worth in the beginning when you come in and things could be a little uppity, just getting your day started, you never know. But once we sit into this chair, it's a symbol, it's a checkpoint to our body to recognize that we are capable of feeling the experiences within ourselves without attaching. Understanding the full fluidity and spectrum that we are lucky enough to be capable to feel, and it exists as just that, a spectrum. Nothing's permanent as long as you let it flow. And again, pulling teeth reference. This is I'm not speaking this is all flowers and daisies. It just can't be. I want to thank you all for taking the time out this morning to be here with me. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your participation. Divine in me bows down for the divine in all of you. Namaste.